It's hard because their life experience has got to be from their choices. I'm looking back on my older children and realize all the mistakes I made because my perspective was actually so fundamentalist Mormon. And as for the sake of plural marriage and then blowing it so bad that nobody would want to be in plural.
Where do we even begin with Kody's antics in seasons 15 to 17? Honestly, it's like a masterclass in how to be a terrible husband and father. Let's dive in, shall we? Not going to Parowan to be with Mary after her mom passed away. Like, what the actual hell? He was married to her for 30 years, and he can't even make a half-hearted attempt to be there when she needs him the most. The guy could have at least shown up to pretend he cared, for the sake of his paycheck. But no, instead, he stays in his own little world. Kody, you're a genius, if that genius was a complete asshole. Refusing to live in Janelle's trailer. Oh, so it's too small for you, huh? Yeah, okay. Let's just ignore the fact that you've been flaunting your shiny new mansion with Robyn, and then basically act like living in a trailer with Janelle would be beneath you. We all see through that one, buddy. You're just trying to get as far away from the other wives as possible. That conversation with Gabe, my heart was broken. There's your grown son crying and begging for affection, and Kody can't even muster the energy to say something nice. Nope, he's too busy bashing his other wives in front of Gabe. What a father figure. Perfect role model. Renting that grotesque $1 million home for Robyn. Oh yeah, Kody, totally classy move. Renting an ugly mansion for Robyn and her kids while the rest of the family struggles in subpar conditions. And then he has the nerve to parade it around in front of everyone. This is peak inconsiderate behavior, honestly. Also, can we talk about how all the family gatherings were at Christine's place? Because that makes sense. Total shocker, someone finally decided to leave this mess. Kidney knife. Let's not forget that legendary moment where Kody acts like he's on death's door with a fever of 99.7 degrees Fahrenheit. He somehow expects Janelle to abandon her vacation and rush to fetch him things as if he were actually dying. The drama was real, people. Forgetting Gabe's birthday. Ah, Kody's classic move. Forgetting his son's birthday, but hey, no biggie, he just calls to compare coronavirus symptoms instead. What a loving father, not demanding 50/50th custody of Truly. After never bothering to visit Truly, even when she was living just miles away? You've got to be kidding me. And then the audacity to threaten that the state would take her if they couldn't come to an agreement. Yeah, great parenting skills there, Kody. Everything he did to Mary. Let's be real, Mary was barely even a blip on his radar, especially with his treatment of her over the years. It's like he treated her as an afterthought, when she was just barely holding it together emotionally. It's painful to watch. Isabel's surgery. And let's not forget that Kody couldn't even be bothered to be there for Isabel's surgery, which is honestly the most heart-wrenching part of this whole saga. How do you just not show up for your own child's surgery? The emotional abandonment is off the charts. In short, Kody's reign of selfishness continues, and it's honestly a wonder anyone puts up with him. If there's a Father of the Year award, Kody is not winning it. Not even close. We've got so much to dive into today, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Elena here, and welcome back to my channel Reality Nexus X. Got a fantastic drinking game idea for everyone. Now, I quit drinking 10 years ago, but hey, I'm still here for all of you brave souls who want to get hammered. So here's the perfect way to survive watching Sister Wives, and maybe catch a buzz while you're at it. Take a drink every time Robyn or Kody says, "sit in there," or "sit in thar." Robyn manages to squeeze this gem into nearly every conversation, and of course, Kody picked it up like the linguistic genius he is. Now they're both sitting there and sitting there like it's their full-time job. Cheers. Want to go all in and get really wasted? take a drink every time Robyn drops the word stuff at the end of a sentence. You know, when she's just too tired to finish her thought, so she casually throws in a stuff to wrap it up. Classic Robyn move. Got any other Robynisms we can throw into the mix? Let's brainstorm. Her scenes are just the best after all. Oh, and please, let's avoid the drinking game for fake tears. We all know that could lead to a hospital visit, and none of us want that, right? Where do I even start with this hot mess of a situation? So you're at the point where Christine and Kody are about to have a massive blow-up over Kody's buddy, Ken, who decided to open his mouth and offer some stellar advice. That Kody should ditch 3 of his wives to save his eternal soul. Classic. What kind of joke is that? Yeah, real funny, Ken, suggesting that Kody toss aside the women he's supposedly in love with for, what? The approval of a church? I mean, come on, even for this bunch, that's a whole new level of ridiculous. But the real kicker? The other wives aren't exactly writing in to defend Christine. Oh no. Instead, they're off somewhere trying to keep sweet, which in this case means ignoring Christine's very real feelings and throwing shade her way. What's that all about? They know damn well that Kody is just digging his heels in for the sake of his ego, and Christine's frustration is completely justified. But sure, let's keep telling her she's whiny and a princess for feeling hurt. Then, of course, in the classic Kody move, he turns something small into a drama storm just by refusing to acknowledge that feelings, even these silly ones, are still valid. And Christine's feelings, totally valid. If anything, Kody should have just done the adult thing. Tell Ken, hey, you may have been joking, but you offended Christine. She deserves an apology. Simple, right? But of course, Kody can't do that because that would mean admitting Ken was in the wrong. And we all know how Kody feels about looking weak. Then, surprise, surprise, Ken eventually gets wind that he upset Christine and does the bare minimum. He apologizes. But it's not even a big deal at that point. If Kody hadn't been such a stubborn idiot, that whole drama could have been avoided. It's almost laughable, though, because if Robyn had been the one demanding an apology, Kody would have probably moved heaven and earth to make sure that happened. But hey, Ken's not weak, at least. He managed to step up when it mattered, unlike Kody. It's all just one big mess, with Kody acting like the world revolves around him while the other wives, especially Christine, are left to deal with the fallout. So Leon and the other moms are re-watching the show, and honestly, I can't even remember the first time this happened, though I think it was with Christine. But here's the second time it popped up, at Madison's wedding, when Leon caught the bouquet. Janelle, in her ever-so-wise way, says, maybe it's a sign that they'll find that special person. Now, the real question is, are the moms just speaking in vague, generic terms? You know, the usual love is out there spiel. Or did they somehow already know? Like how people always say parents have this magical radar that can tell when their kids are about to come out. Or, here's the kicker, did Leon already come out as a lesbian to a few of the moms before they even did on the show? Maybe a sibling spilled the beans, and the moms were just playing along with the whole "we're totally clueless" act. You decide. Why even bother with legal marriage? Seriously, why do polygamists feel the need to legally marry just one wife? It seems like it would make more sense for no one to have the official title at all. I'm not talking about the whole "we need to be married to adopt someone's kids" thing. That's a different level of mess. Honestly, I think the real reason behind having one legal wife while juggling multiple spiritual marriages is pretty simple. The men in the AUV don't actually care about fairness. If they did, the obvious, equitable solution would be to ditch the legal marriage altogether. That way, no wife would be legally superior to the others, and they could all just have their spiritual marriages, which would all be equally important in the eyes of the group. But nope, they insist on having one wife with a legal stamp of approval. This tells you something. They care about the legal status for some reason. Maybe it's financial, maybe it's social, or maybe it's just because they want the power that comes with it. If their spiritual unions were as sacred as they claim, who cares about what the government says, right? The fact they want that legal marriage just reveals a big old contradiction. They talk about fairness, but they sure aren't showing it when it comes to actual legal status. What does this imbalance really do? It benefits the husband. Big surprise. He gets all the perks, assets, decision-making power, tax breaks, basically all the goodies that only the legal wife gets to claim. The other wives, well, they're left in the cold with no legal standing, no protections. If the marriage falls apart or something happens to him, they get nothing. This whole thing is just set up to keep the power squarely in the hands of the husband and his legal wife, rather than creating an equal partnership with all the wives. I guess, in a twisted way, I get why they do it. If none of the wives were legally married to him and he fell sick or died, none of them would have a say in medical decisions, funeral arrangements, or handling the estate. That power would probably just fall to his parents or siblings. So yeah, as crappy as it is that one wife holds all the cards, I suppose it's slightly better than none of them having any say in those situations. So there I was, minding my own business, letting sister wives play in the background while I worked. And then, bam, I was completely sucked into the absurdity of it all. Janelle, Mary, and their thick eyebrows, what a show! I couldn't stop laughing as they spent all this time drawing on eyebrows like it was some kind of high-stakes art project. And then, in true reality TV fashion, they go and tease Leon about it. It was so ridiculously pointless, but I couldn't look away. This little eyebrow fiasco happens during the Mary and Janelle sit down with Nancy to fix their relationship arc, and it made me wonder how much of this drama is real, and how much is just made for TV. Honestly, rewatching this, I couldn't find much evidence of a strange dynamic between Mary and Chanel. They were laughing just as much as Christine and Janelle. So, are we pretending there's some deep feud, or is it just a plotline they're pushing? Looking back, especially during the whole adoption/divorce storyline, I actually saw Janelle as someone who was genuinely concerned about Mary. She seemed to care about what was going on with Mary and what it meant for everyone. I'm not saying Janelle was some angel who never participated in the pile-ons as the women fought for Kody's attention, but I don't think there was this huge wedge between them like the show tried to sell us. Then, of course, we find out Janelle reached out to Mary to protect herself on the property. Now I'm side-eyeing the entire narrative, because here's the thing, when I have personal issues with someone in my life, whether it's family or a friend, there's always some level of awkwardness. So the idea that these two didn't feel that at all, a bit of a stretch. Let's not forget, Mary and Janelle have been at odds since day one, and they've admitted it. But they still managed to raise the original kids together for almost 2 decades, somehow making their dysfunctional setup work for the sake of the kids. It was less about love and more about necessity, but hey, it worked. And the divorce drama? Janelle knew that if anything happened to Kody, Mary would do the right thing when it came to dividing assets. I mean, Mary's a lot of things, but at least she'd be fair. Robyn? Yeah, we all know she'd put herself first, along with her perfect chicken tenders. This whole cult of selflessness, it's a glorified game of women trying to outdo each other to earn favor. That's why the baby-making competition exists. Poor Mary couldn't keep up. Mary, bless her heart, is a mess. She's overt, emotionally all over the place, and always trying to create some semblance of order out of chaos just to survive. Of course, she comes across as abrasive. But honestly, I think Janelle respected how Mary, like Christine, took care of the kids, fed them, sewed clothes, and even breastfed Maddie. In the beginning, they did work together for the family's sake, however dysfunctional that family may have been. Janelle's no saint either. She may be more subtle, but she's basically the OG Kody whisperer. She had his ear, and Mary knew it. Over the years, we saw Janelle constantly griping about feeding her kids while living in a comfy Vegas rental with a pool. Meanwhile, Mary was out there running the family MLM and donating at least a fifth of her income, only to get nothing in return. Bottom line, the division between them was real from the start. Janelle wasn't just Mary's sister-in-law, she was the one who then married Mary's husband and started, well, getting busy in a single-wide trailer with paper-thin walls. And from there, yeah, things didn't exactly improve. Thoughts on Kody and Christine's response to Mykelti in Season 11, Ep 1? Okay, so Tony asking for Mykelti's hand in marriage, can we just talk about how quick that all was? I mean, seriously, people are acting like this move is straight out of a rom-com, but it was fast. I'm not alone in thinking that was way too soon, right? The parents' reaction was something, but I get it. It's a little much to wrap your head around when you've only met the guy a couple of times. And just for the record, I know this might get downvoted, but hear me out. A lot of this feels like internalized racism creeping in. I mean, let's not forget the Mormon Church's charming past, teaching that dark skin was the mark of Cain, and the whole thing with black men not even being allowed to serve until the 90s. Yeah, let's just say that part of history doesn't exactly scream inclusivity. Those cults were definitely problematic. But here's a thought. Has anyone ever wondered if Mykelti ever gives her mom some playful shade for doing the exact same thing with David? Or maybe just a little lighthearted jab? The hypocrisy's kind of funny if you think about it, considering Christine was all about rushing things with David too. And let's not pretend Mykelti and Tony's whirlwind romance was that much faster than Christine and David's. Christine and David's whole "we're in love" thing dragged on for what felt like 15 seasons. Seriously, that wedding special was one long slow-motion, 100-minute cringe fest. I lost track of time just watching it. But honestly, I would have reacted the same way as Kody and Christine. Mykelti was young and impulsive. Did I mention really impulsive? And they'd only met Tony twice. So asking for a little delay wasn't totally out of line. I personally would have waited for warmer weather for the outdoor wedding, but hey, who am I to decide? Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and much love to you all.